Hello everyone. Can you hear me? If you can, let me know please. Let me know if you can see me, and we'll get this summit underway and my presentation very shortly. Just write in the chat whether you can hear my voice. Thank you, Renee. Renee from Wisconsin. Good afternoon, I think, Renee. Megan, thank you. And Megan is from Oklahoma, representing the States tonight. Welcome. I can see Elisa. Hello, Phil, wonderful to see you. And you, Elisa. Very excited about this presentation this evening. 1 minute to go, and I'll wait for that 1 minute so that everybody is here. Good evening, John. John's from Florida. Okay, it's 10:30 p.m. in the UK. I believe 3:30 in the States. So let's get started. Welcome. It's great to have you here. And my presentation today is about four ways, actually probably a lot more than 4 ways, to transform your teaching and your students' learning with the latest free music technology. And I am going to be focusing on BandLab. And BandLab is something I discovered about 1.5 years ago, and was completely bowled over by it. And I realized, because of 3 factors, that this would be a game changer. And what I mean by that is it's free, principally, most importantly. And judging the budgets of many schools these days, that has to be a good thing. It's free, and it's always going to be free. And the education version, which was released in September, is absolutely incredible. I say that not with any bias, but because I've been using it now for probably over a year, and exploring it and hoping really that this would be a game changer for music education. And I believe very strongly that it is, and that it will be. So I'm delighted to present what I've discovered so far and what I've been doing. So it's free, and very importantly, it's safe. It's FERPA compliant and COPPA compliant, which means it's safeguarded, and it's within a walled garden so that children are safe, even though it's an online environment. That's another great thing. And the third fantastic feature of BandLab is that it's available on any device with an internet connection. And we're talking PCs, Macs, Chromebooks, and you can get versions on the iPad and even on your iPhone. The last 2 are apps, and those 2 are very good. But we're going to concentrate tonight on the PC Mac version, and these are all available from the Chrome browser. So that's an important factor to remember, because it won't work in Internet Explorer or any other browser. By the way, as we go on, if you have any questions, please put them into the chat box, and I will do my best to answer them at the end of the presentation. And please do ask questions, because I want this to be absolutely vitally useful for you, because I'd love you to be using this platform. And I know that it will transform your teaching and your students' learning. I've been teaching it in schools now for about a year in the southwest of England, in the Plymouth Music Education Hub, in Devon and in Cornwall. And the results so far have been phenomenal. The teachers and the students have been so excited with what's available and what they can do with it. And we'll have a look at that just a little bit later. So, if I could tell you a little bit about me, first of all, because this is very relevant to what I am doing. So I consider myself a rather of a failure in school, in musical terms, and I really didn't get on with it. I was fortunate enough to have private music lessons. So I think I learned the piano, or started to learn the piano, at about 7 years old. And I didn't get on very well, and I didn't enjoy it. And I knew I was musical. I knew I had music in me. So I kept on trying. And the next thing I tried was at secondary school, about 11 years old, and I tried the guitar. And I really, really wanted to play the guitar. Unfortunately, I came across the same problem, which was that notation, these little squiggly lines on the stave, they didn't make any sense to me. And of course, in the, dare I say, late 70s and 80s, when I was at school, that was all that was going on, really. So I didn't do very well on the guitar and gave up. So finally, at the age of 13, I tried the flute. And I enjoyed the flute. I enjoyed playing it in the sense that I could blow it and it made a pleasant sound. But once again, once the notation came out, that was the end of it for me. It was like a code I couldn't crack. And sadly, or possibly not so sadly, I still can't read music, and I have no musical qualifications. But it hasn't stopped me having a wonderful, joyous musical life and an incredible musical journey. And a music educator now for over 30 years. Now, all this is basically down to my mum, God bless her, who bought me this little baby when I was 18. And I don't know if you recognize this, but this is the Casio VL tone. Ooh. Anyway, this little beauty completely changed my life. And the reason it did that was because some of the features here allowed me to record step by step and then play back on these two buttons. And it was the start of me expressing myself and getting the music out there. I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. And I started writing songs, and I started working with other people who were interested, other musicians. So I felt that I was part of a crowd, which was absolutely wonderful. Anyway, since then, technology has developed, and I've literally been playing now for 40 years with technology, and have had record contracts and music studios and all the gadgets that anyone could possibly ever want, because I just loved it. But interestingly enough, what I've got now is BandLab, and it does so many things, from loops in so many genres, virtual instruments, effects, and when I think of the power of something that's free, online, safe, and available on any device, I'm thinking, what is there not to love about this? And why shouldn't every school and every child have the opportunity to make music, become a musician, and have a wonderful musical life? So enough about this. Let's have a look at BandLab for Education. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm hoping you'll still be able to hear me. So let's have a go at this. Okay. So could you just let me know if you can see my screen and hear me at the same time? If you can, could you write something in the chat for me? That would be fantastic. Oh, I can see Melody from Kansas. Welcome, Melody. Julie from Cali. Cali. I'm not sure what that is. Fantastic. So you can hear me and you can see my screen. That's wonderful. So this is BandLab for Education. It is, as I say, a very safe environment, and the URL is edu.bandlab.com. And then you can start as a teacher or start as a student. Now, before we go into this, I want to get straight into what BandLab is all about. I think the best way is to show you the screen. And what you can see here is the mix editor, and it's where you can create your tunes or your assignments or your podcasts. In fact, anything you want, really. So I'm going to play this now, and I'm hoping that you will hear the audio as well. And I might even have to pump this up on the speaker, but let me play it. And I'm going to ask you the question whether you can, in fact, oh, hold on a minute. Turn the screenshot off and then back on. I've got to find the right page. Right, let's try that. This is my first ever webinar, by the way. There's some video feedback right there. That's the one we're looking at. So I'm hoping if I play this, you can see it and hear it. Let's try. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Let's just turn that down a little bit. And I'm going to go back to the chat. And can I just ask everyone whether they could hear the music being played when I was inside BandLab? If you could let me know on the chat, that would be great. Freddie, thank you. Yes, Cindy, welcome. Thank you. Brilliant news. Okay, so let's go back in and let's find out what that was all about. Firstly, I'm playing from an assignment that I created in BandLab for Education. So I'm going to go and exit here. And I'm going to go to my classroom. And I have many classrooms. Let's go back one step further. So this is the teaching management system on BandLab. And here is where you can create your own class. There it is, create class. Now I work in many schools in England, so I have lots of schools here and lots of classes. And the one I'm in at the moment is my Inclusive Music Academy. And it's here where I have I've got lots of teachers mainly who can come in and join my class. And this is the way I support teachers in getting started. So I was in BandLab for Teachers, and if I click on here, this is my class. And what you're looking at is what you could have as well. So you could have a class, you create your school first, it's all free, and then you create your classes. So I could add a class into this. BandLab for Teachers, and I have 18 students or 18 teachers involved in this. And the class is designed to help teachers get started in setting up their school and their first classroom. Once inside, they will have access to the inclusive music assignments, which will provide examples of how a teacher might create a lesson. So I've already set some assignments, and this is the sort of thing you would set for your students. And the idea would be that the students come in, log in, and then they start an assignment. So here's a few: how to create scary atmospheric music, BandLab's basic skills, choosing different instruments to create a remix, dream your dream, BandLab demo, exploring and finding suitable effects for vocals, creating music for film, songwriting, the introduction, lesson 2, a demo song in BandLab for Education, etc. The glorious Victorians even. You can basically put whatever you like in here, and the student will then come along and decide what they are going to listen to and get involved in. So the teacher could say, right, today we're going to do an introduction. So let me scroll down. The introduction lesson 2 and the introduction lesson 1 is somewhere here. Let me just see. Yes. No. Can't see it now. Not to worry, we're going to go into lesson 2, where I was just a minute ago. There we go. So the students can see that this is the songwriting, the introduction lesson 2, and they've got the aims to copy and move the 4 loops so that a new instrument is heard every 4 bars, creating a gradual build-up, a crescendo. And then there are some tasks. So let's show more. And you can see the assignment and the step-by-step tasks which they have to engage with. They can also listen to the assignment that I've set, as we'll see in a minute. And you can see it playing here. And we can add video tutorials from YouTube. And these are all part of my inclusive music course, BandLab for Schools. But it's great if children have access to YouTube, and many schools in England don't, for obvious reasons, but they can actually play these and see a video tutorial. So what I'm going to do now is open this task, this the songwriting introduction lesson 2, and I'm going to open it up in the mix editor here. So one click there. And you can see that the assignment brief is there, which we just read. Aim to copy and move the 4 loops. Decide which track you want. Go to that loop and copy it to bar 17. And I can now, having read the assignment brief, I can just click on here down there, the assignment brief, and it goes, and I've got more space now to do some work. I'm going to zoom out. And what I want to do is just go back to the first task. Okay, so excuse me while I just move a few things around. And I'm going to demonstrate the first task was to find 4 sounds that worked well together, like these. I'm going to put the cycle on there. And the way I got these loops was to go to the bottom right hand corner and see all the incredible genres available in BandLab for Education. Now, the first starting point of my first lesson would be to actually listen to these different genres. Let me scroll down. Bedroom beats, party pop, black noise house, future grunge, K-pop expanded, grunge glitch, lo-fi dreams, acid hip hop, digital dub, sinister trap mega, very popular in Plymouth, J-pop ultra, Chicago house, drum and bass, and it goes on and 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 on. They are adding BandLab, that is, they are adding about one extra loop pack per week. I think there's about 75 to choose from. Let's have a quick example. Here's the play button. So I encourage children for their first lesson to listen to as many of these genres and loop packs as they can. Let's try Moon Baton. Okay, moving down. Let's perhaps have something a little more traditional. 80s pop. Is there anyone out there who likes the 80s? Takes me back. Neo soul jams. Let's try cinematic loop pack. Really good for music for film, atmosphere, very nice. There really is something for everyone here. Heroic orchestra. Okay, so the first task of the first lesson would be to get the kids really excited, and I can tell you they are, as are the teachers when they see the kids getting onto some work. So I've chosen for this particular songwriting assignment, I've chosen some loops from R&B Essentials. And to find them, all I do is click here. And now we can see all the constituent parts, all the building blocks, if you like, of the sounds within this genre. And there are an awful lot to choose from. So the idea is to listen to them all and then choose which ones you want to work with. And the way I do it is to suggest to the children, first of all, they can choose a beat. So they might go up to the here and type in beat. And all the beats in this particular genre appear. And then it's their job to listen to each one. Next one. And then what they would do is drag them in to the mix editor. And by the way, this is all running live. This is streaming from the internet, and it works beautifully in schools with 30 Chromebooks or with 30 laptops open. The technology is amazing. So there you can see I've added that beat, and that's what I would do here. And then I'd ask them to add a bass and then find some melodies. And the idea about this first one, I'm just going to press undo to get rid of that one. There we go, undo. And the idea is the first section is to find 4 that sound good together. And the motivating factor of fabulous sounding, high quality sounds is a joy to behold. The excitement on that first lesson as the students listen to the loop packs is extraordinary. And it's what, for me, it's what music and music education is all about. Getting kids excited, getting them motivated, getting them to listen to the music that they love and to be able to create songs in the music that they love. And they are the experts. So that was task 1. And let's go back to task 2. Here's the assignment brief. And it is to decide which track you want to hear first, because what we're going to do now is create a crescendo and build up this introduction, 1 track at a time over 16 bars, introducing a new sound every 4 bars. So the first thing is to find out which sounds you want to go first. So let's say I want to hear the bass. I'm going to solo the bass. Could this be the first thing I want to hear? Okay, maybe not. Let's try this one. What about this sound? Let's rewind. No, I don't think so. How about yo keys? Solo it. Yes, I like that. That's definitely the one. So what I'm going to do is click on it, and in the top right hand corner there's a little copy button, and drag it to bar 17. And if I go to settings, I can snap to grid. This is on smart now, but I can go to bar, which makes it even easier, because then this snaps literally to each bar line. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I have 16 bars of yo keys. So what comes in next? Could it be the bass? Let's hear those 2 together. I like that. So what I'm going to do now is move that to come in at bar 5. I can take the cycle off now. Okay, I'm now going to copy it to bar 17. I'm going to move these away a little bit, just over to this end. And let's just rewind and hear the keys first and the bass coming in 4 bars later. Okay, that's sounding good. So what comes in next? Let's take the solo off this time. And is it the beat or the effects lead? I think it's the beat. So the beat comes in 4 bars later, bar 9. So we had the first one in a bar 1. 4 bars later, the bass came in. And 4 bars later, the beat's coming in. And we're going to extend that to bar 17. And of course, the effects lead is exactly in the right place 4 bars later. At bar 13. Let's make this a little bit more obvious. I can move the tracks around. So yes, I've got to take the effects lead and I'm going to move it up. This is just moving that track up and again, and suddenly we can see a visual representation, a graphic score, if you will, of the introduction, of a crescendo, of a build up. Let's hear it all the way through. Okay, so I've followed the instructions here. That was in the assignment brief set by the teacher, and I've gone into BandLab and followed the instructions, and I've created the introduction, the start of a song. Obviously, then we go to the next assignment brief, which is to make a chorus. And as you probably expected, I have now created a course called BandLab for Schools, where the whole songwriting process is done step by step in video tutorials, exactly like you're watching. And I'll actually be giving a special offer away for the delegates to get hold of that a little bit later on. Okay, let's have a look at a few more elements of BandLab. One of the beauties is that it's a very simple screen. It's nice and uncluttered. We can take things out, we can bring them in. Here's the lyrics note tab, and I could chat here saying, I like the bass, yo, bass. Oops. Good job, I've got a spell checker. And that's automatically saved when I press save up there. So let's get rid of that and let's have a look at adding another track. If I go up here, we could add an instrument and we can use a keyboard if we connect one via MIDI or play our virtual instruments. We can add a drum machine. We can record our vocal. We can plug in a guitar or a bass, which reminds me to let you know about this little baby. And what this is BandLab's audio interface for guitars, for microphones, and it is a thing of beauty. I have one here just to show how tiny this is. There we go. But that will allow you to plug into any device, including your mobile phone. And I will be giving one away for anybody who signs up, not signs up because it's all free, who goes into my BandLab for Teachers lesson for my school. And I'll show you how to sign up in a minute. Okay, let's go to instruments. And if I click on the icon, we can now see a grand piano. Now I can play it with my mouse. As you can see here, there are notes, they are keys. So I can play on the keyboard of my QWERTY keyboard. I can put the pitch on. There we go. And if you have a touch screen, which I have, fortunately, I can play with my fingers. Another wonderful thing that's just been updated is the scale. you can see here that this is not in fact a normal keyboard. So if I go here, I can take it off, and now I have a conventional keyboard. And I can record straight in to BandLab by just clicking record here. Now, it's a little bit tricky with the mouse, but we know what children are like, and they can do anything with their thumbs and fingers and a mouse. It's perhaps the more traditional of us that find it a little bit tricky and would prefer a keyboard. This is why I like the scale feature. We have a major pentatonic. Let's hear the track. Not going well there. Let's try a minor scale. Okay, I've got the idea. That was the mouse. So I think it's probably easier for me because the notes aren't my best forte. So I could turn the pitch off, and then I can go back to perhaps the QWERTY keyboard. But I also like the touch screen. So I'm going to try and record something. And as I said, I've got to rewind. I've selected this track, so I'm going to go to start recording. There's a count in. Pause it there, and there is the recording. I didn't play it particularly well, so I could re-record it, undo it, but I can also edit it by just double clicking, and there is the familiar piano roll. And there are some quantized features, random features, legato, humanize. It's all very possible there. If I didn't want to do that, I can just undo. Top left-hand corner. So we've got some fabulous instruments. I started with a piano, but as you can see here, there are brass, creator kits, drum kits, pads, guitars, percussion, special effects, strings, bass, keys, leads, pads, voices, and winds. So let's just go inside one of these. Let's go for strings. And the cello section is loading up here. What else do we have? We've got a sitar. And you're seeing it loading up here on the left-hand side. Very quick. And there are hundreds to choose from. So it is an incredibly powerful tool. Once we've recorded some tracks, we can actually put some effects on. So if I chose, what would be most noticeable? Maybe the beat. I'm going to solo the beat here, and let's start it from bar 9. Let's play it. Okay, and now I'm going to add an effects down here. Effects. There is none there. As you can see here, the preset is none. We've got some nice things to start with. So what about an echo doubler? Click on that, and up comes 3 different effects, 4 different effects, which we can delete. If we don't like them, we can turn them off and on and add some more. So let me just turn them off. We've just got the EQ. So let's take them all off. We'll have a quick listen. I'm going to bring it on now. Let's try the compressor. Got louder. Let's try the echo. Space Maker. I think you get the idea. Now that was all hidden away. It still looks very nice, but down here, this is where we found it. And can you imagine the amount of possibilities there are? So do I want to apply that new effect? Yes, I do. This is a very long one. So this is very advanced, but of course, you know that children will pick it up very easily, even young children. Elementary schools, primary schools in England, they are loving it. Let's have a quick listen, shall we? Okay, I could spend all day, as I'm sure you realize, on playing. And sadly, or not so sadly, I often do, because I absolutely love BandLab and what the possibilities are. So anybody can use this, any child. It's safe, as I said, and they would start their own song. And they can do this independent of the teacher. They can just come up here to this little library and start their personal project. As you see, I have been very busy and I just enjoy making music in this amazing BandLab for Education. So if children go into their BandLab for Education, they go into their library and they go into the mix editor, and there they are, starting from scratch. Browse loops is probably the best way to start. And there's the loop packs for them to start with a blank screen. So you can see how incredibly powerful it is. It can also load an audio or MIDI file and some inclusive music resources I'll be giving away later, including some MIDI chord progressions, BandLab school resources, Mozart. So let's double click, for example, on Eine kleine Nachtmusik. Here we go. And let's see what happens. There we go. Oh, I think it's got too many, but we've got plenty of tracks there. So let's just see if this sounds any good. I've not done this before, so let's see what happens. Of course, the beauty is you can solo. And then if you want, just change the sound. It's a grand piano at the moment, but what would sound like as a synth? Airy keys, let's try it. It's like video game music. And of course, what a great way to learn about music, about great musicians, and be able to edit them and add different beats, different basses, and funk them up and make them modern and make them their own. It's all possible. Okay, let's come out of the screen, I think, now. So let me take the sharing off. Okay. Got lots of questions coming in, so I'll look to answering those a little bit later. What I wanted to do now is perhaps show you how you can get into BandLab. So I prepared some videos, and let's see if these are playing. So let's start with this one, BandLab for Education, onboarding for teachers. Let's see if I can play this. Hi, it's Phil from Inclusive Music, and in this video we'll take you through the onboarding process for BandLab for Education. It will show you how to register as a teacher, create a school, create your first class and invite your students. Please note that BandLab for Education will only work using the Chrome browser. Let's get started. Type in edu.bandlab.com. Click Start as a Teacher. Type in your name, email address and password. Now click Sign Up. You can add a photo and change your username later if you wish. For now, click Continue. You can add your school's name, address and phone number, or skip this step. Congratulations, you've successfully registered as a teacher. You now have three options: join class, create school, or get me started. Click on Join Class. Here you can see the option to input a 7-digit code. If you, as a teacher, were invited to join another class, the teacher would send you a code, and by typing it in here, you'd automatically be enrolled in that class. This is how two classes might start working on a musical collaboration. This could be Year 5 and 6 working together in the same school, or two classes from opposite sides of the globe. If you wish, you can join my class, BandLab for Teachers, and by so doing, you will have access to some example assignments and lessons that I have created to get you started. These include The Glorious Victorians, an original song about Isambard Kingdom Brunel for primary, songwriting assignments for primary and secondary, a BandLab for Education demo song demonstrating the culmination of the structured songwriting project for primary and secondary, exploring and finding suitable effects for vocals, this is for secondary, and there are more assignments being added all the time. To join, simply input this code: 2AAH4CG. You will also have the opportunity to chat with other teachers from around the world and discover how they are using BandLab for Education in their classroom. If the class is full, contact me by email, phil@inclusivemusic.com, and I'll create another class. If you click on Get Me Started, you'll find the help desk where you can find useful articles and information, as well as reaching out to BandLab for help with a specific problem. Good luck, and I'll see you on the inside. Calling all teachers. If you need a little extra help to get you and your students started with BandLab, head over to the Inclusive Music Academy by clicking on the card above. Here you can get access to my complete step-by-step BandLab for Education Songwriting course. While you're getting hours of high-quality continued professional development in the classroom, your students are learning the way they love to, by doing, by creating their own original music in the genre and style that they love. You will be amazed by the transformation in your music lessons and astonished by the motivation and excitement of your students. And if you're one of the first 50 teachers to purchase, you can get the course at half price. Don't miss this great opportunity. Click the link in the information below and start changing the way you teach and the way your students learn. Okay, so that's a little idea of how you get into BandLab, and it's very easy to set yourself up, and I encourage you to join my class. You'd go to edu.bandlab.com. Let's see if I've still got that available. Let's share my screen. There it is. Oh, try again. Okay, edu.bandlab.com, and you can start as a student. In this case, you'll be a student of mine, but when you create your own class, you'll obviously start as a teacher. And I will now show you how you would enroll a student, which will be your next important step. Let me change the sharing, so just stop for a moment. And I think the best thing to do is play a video. So here's one on how you would enroll your students into your classroom. Hello again, it's Phil from Inclusive Music, and in this video I'm going to share with you how teachers enroll students into their BandLab for Education classroom. Don't forget, BandLab for Education only works using the Chrome browser. Let's get started. Type in edu.bandlab.com. Click Start as a Student. Your students will be invited to join the classroom by inputting a 7-digit code. To find the code for your classroom, go to your classroom, go to Add Student, and the code will appear. All students need to do is input this 7-digit code and click Join. If your students have a Google account and they are already logged in, they can simply click the Continue with Google box. That will take them directly to the classroom. If not, they must input their name, email and password. If they have a school email, that can be used. If not, create an imaginary one. For example, claudiat@example.com. I would strongly advise you to use the same password for all pupils. This makes future logins quicker and easier. Make sure that they make a note of these details and ensure you take a copy too. Click Sign Up. Students will then see the welcome screen. Delete the username and replace it with their own name as they did before. In this example, Claudia T, all lowercase with no capital letters or spaces. They can add a photo later if you want them to. Click Continue. They will now be inside the classroom, and if you have created any assignments, they can now listen to them and read what they have to do. They can listen to the assignments by pressing any of the play buttons. If they have access to YouTube, they can play a video tutorial. If you haven't created any assignments yet, they can explore personal projects. Here they can listen to all the different styles of music and begin to create some musical ideas. Click on the Personal Projects folder with the note icon on in the top right hand corner. Click on Mix Editor. Click on Browse Loops. There are over 60 different styles of music to listen to and choose from. By clicking on the play button, they can listen to the demo song in each genre. When they find one they like, they can make a note of it by clicking on the feather at the top right corner and writing in the name of it. Click on the infinite loop to go back to the genres. Give your students plenty of time to listen to as many as they can. Once your students have decided which loop pack they prefer, they can start exploring the sounds within them. By clicking on the picture, all the loops are revealed. Now it's a case of looking down and listening to all of the sounds, and if they like them, dragging them in to start creating some music. Okay, we're going to stop the video there because you've seen that bit, but I'm hoping that you got the idea really of how accessible it is and how easy it is to get started. So let me tell you about the course that I have written, because I have been working with technology in schools for over 30 years, and I'm disappointed, if you like, that it's not been embraced as I would have liked, and I think as the kids would have liked. And I believe it comes down to a number of things, which is the time that teachers have to learn anything new. Technology can be frustrating and difficult to learn. It often goes wrong, and you need some problem-solving skills. Some people are feeling fearful of technology, perhaps having been brought up in a traditional musical environment. It's very alien. So I thought the way to make inroads with teachers and to allow technology through their door so that the kids can get involved and start making music was to create step-by-step video tutorials. So I'm going to load here my course. Let me just share my screen. Here we go. And it is to be found at learning.inclusivemusic.com here. And BandLab For Schools is the name of the course. There are many on my website, but this is the one that I'm loving at the moment. And the special offer I mentioned, it's now available for half price. It was $97, but for this delegate special, for this conference, you can buy it for £48.50, which I believe is around $60. In the course, you're going to see how to set up your classroom. Well, we've seen a few of the videos, the onboarding videos there, and enrolling your students. There's crucial information for the ICT technician, a little bit about privacy and security, create a school, create assignments, introducing personal projects, teachers getting started, lesson plans, demo structure, various song structure, quizzes for children, keyboard shortcuts, and then basic skills, which you can choose to do at the beginning or as an extension exercise. So children go at different speeds, and this is useful if they suddenly can find basic skills which they perhaps don't see initially. The introduction, as we've just seen, we've just started the introduction. Then getting organized, very important in any digital domain. The chorus, the break, the verse, the bridge, next chorus, instrumental, the ending, the icing on the cake, how to write song lyrics, a certificate of completion, and some BandLab official tutorials as well. For example, mastering, how to make your finished track sound even better. So there's a huge amount of material here. And the idea is for teachers to get CPD in the classroom. And by that I mean, it's easy enough just to press, for example, let's go to the introduction. There's the lesson plans, the demo structure, and then the video, the introduction part 1. So the teacher presses that in the classroom and then pauses it when the first task has been seen and watched by the children. And it really is step by step, because it's very easy for teachers to become fearful, disillusioned, and it's great to have an expert in your classroom. And so the idea is that because teachers find it difficult to get out of schools for training and it's expensive, why not train in the classroom by working with the kids on the video? So press play, press pause, and then build your own track. So you are learning as you go on. You are facilitating the children's work, but you are learning how to use the program. And that strikes me as a great way to learn yourselves and to let the kids have so much creative fun. So let me come out of that now, and I'll drop the offer here and the link. Which one is it? Here we go. It's all very clever, this webinar stuff. So I'll publish that now. And there's 30 available, and you have 2 hours to grab it. So I think I can leave that there. Okay, we have got half an hour left. I'll be looking for some questions in a minute. In the meantime, it's worth mentioning that the graded exams from Rock School, the music production exams, are now being used in BandLab. And this means that, let me find a video, children as young as year 6, 7 can be working on assignments, working on exam grades. Music production, look at it, RSL Rock School, and I'll just quickly play you something that we have been working on here. These videos are designed to help you with the Grade 1 Rock School Music Production coursework task and technical skills using the free cloud-based digital audio workstation BandLab. At Grade 1, the technical skills will centre around session creation and basic inputting of notes using a software instrument on a digital audio workstation, or DAW. The coursework task will require candidates to import a backing track into their DAW, record a melody, and bounce the resulting mix to a new stereo audio file. Candidates must complete the task before their exam and will be asked to upload the task and screenshots during their exam. Coursework task. The coursework task element of the examination will put you in a situation that you are likely to be in as a working music producer. Your examiner will be assessing how well you respond to that situation, how you choose the technique required, and how you demonstrate those skills. Collaboration is a large part of music. Therefore, you will find this coming up a lot in the Rock School grade exam. The scenario will quite often start with, you are working with, which might be another producer, an artist, or a record label. Whenever you're working with someone else remotely, it's vital that you can share your work with them without losing any file. Therefore, a fundamental skill you must master is organizing your files and saving your sessions correctly. Once you have mastered this, you will be able to work with people, whether they are in the next building or on the other side of the planet. A common scenario you might face is to work with a backing track that has been created by another artist or producer. They might send you their work so far for you to record a vocal, guitar line, or enhance the rhythm track it somewhere to help take the track in a new direction. For the Grade 1 coursework task, you will be required to import a backing track into your DAW, record a melody, and bounce the resulting mix to a new stereo audio file. The coursework task carries 60 marks. Assets for this can be found in the book's downloadable file. Task 1. Here is a basic hip-hop beat. The producer, based in a different city, has asked you to take the audio of his beat, import 3 sections of MIDI chords that he has written, and to write a different bass line for each section. You are required to import the audio file into your DAW and set the correct BPM, beats per minute. Next, import the 3 different chord progressions and record a bass line over the top of each using an appropriate pitched software instrument for a minimum of 8 bars for each of the 3 sections. Ensure your bass lines are both in time and in tune with the supplied backing track, and that it retains its original tempo. Once each of the 3 sections has a bass line, add additional melody parts to 2 of the sections using another suitable sound from your DAW. Once you are happy with your solution, render the master as a stereo wave file, 16-bit, 44.1 kHz, and upload. Don't forget to supply a screenshot of your work. There are 2 different versions of BandLab. For the purpose of this video, I am assuming you are using BandLab for Education. To create a new personal project in BandLab, click on the note icon in the top right corner. Click on Mix Editor. Click on Browse Loops. Change the BPM to 87, which is the tempo of the hip-hop beat you are about to import. Double-click to turn it blue and type in 87 and press Enter or Return. Click on Drop a Loop or an audio MIDI file. Locate the folder Hip Hop Beat 87 BPM. Open it and double-click on the actual beat. Listen to the beat. Okay, I think you get the idea of that. Very excited about that development because Rock School, which is a massive global graded exams, have decided that technology and music production is an important subject enough to give it 8 grades as any other instrument they do, and it means that these can go to university points, UCAS points, and you get graded qualifications, exams. So that's a really exciting thing. I was been after this for 20 odd years to try and get an exam board to do that. So really pleased about that. Let's have a little bit of fun in terms of what BandLab can do. Not quite the right season, but I think you might enjoy this. Here we go.
Hello, it's Phil from Inclusive Music, and tonight we're going to make the scariest music in minutes using BandLab. Go to bandlab.com. Put in your email and password, then press create. Let's make music. Go to BandLab Instruments. Change the piano to a string. Change the string guitar to a violin section. Strings have always been used to create tension and evoke fear. Press record. Start with the highest pitch you can and work your way slowly down the keyboard. Add a reverb effects. BandLab instruments. Change the piano to strings and the guitar to the cello section. With just 3 notes or less, we can create the bass section. Add a new track, BandLab instruments. Change the piano to the drum pads. Change the kit to scary sounds pad. Press record. Let's now play our scary music creation. I do hope you enjoyed this Halloween special, making scary music with a BandLab. If so, please like, share, and subscribe to ensure you never miss the latest inclusive music videos. Happy music making and happy Halloween!
Okay, a little bit of fun there. I had lots of fun. Went down a storm in the schools, as you can imagine. Okay, I've got a few little things for you. I'm going to file share now. You saw earlier some inclusive music resources, which have lots of MIDI files and chord progressions. And all you need to do is download those files for free, and you can drop them into BandLab and get started. You don't actually need anything in BandLab, but there are some PDFs, there's some lesson plans to get you started, so you've got a feel of it, so you can really start straight away and not leave it. So I'm going to be finishing off fairly soon. So let's go in to see any questions in the chat. Thank you, Renee. Renee, how fun for kids? Yes, they do love it. And Renee has joined. Well done. Thank you. So let me just see if we can get up. Yeah, I'm going to get up my classroom, which is BandLab for Teachers. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. And we should be able to see the Cindy, and I think Melody has joined as well. So let's go to members. This is the BandLab for Teachers classroom. And let's see. There's Renee. Congratulations, Renee. You're in it with a chance to win this little beauty. Brand new and bagged. Who else we got? Quite a few people have joined. Fantastic. And the point of joining is that you can now access any of these assignments totally for free. There's no catch here. I like to give away free stuff. I'm so happy to encourage teachers to to facilitate this, to get this incredible technology into the classroom. And BandLab for Education have created such an amazing platform. It's worth mentioning because it is a fully fledged teaching management system. So if I go to the assignments, a student takes the assignment and then can submit it. And this is where I would publish it, or it is published now, so you can see them. I can edit the assignments. A child or yourselves now, whoever's joined, can now access these and submit an assignment. So let's cover quick Q2. Yes, let's go for creating music for film. And we can open. No, let's have this one. Yeah, the songwriting lesson 1. This is where we started with. Open this up very quickly. There it is. And it models what the assignment should look like. And so a child or yourselves can have a go at doing that and then submitting it. And you can see here, these have been assigned to people. And if completed, they get sent to me, and I listen to them and I comment on them and I send them back. I can send them back if they're not complete or there's a mistake, or I can say fantastic, and I can grade them as well. So BandLab, I think, have thought of everything. And even if they haven't, they will develop this. Even in a year, it's changed beyond recognition. They update it every week with more and more great features. So I cannot praise it highly enough. I think BandLab for Education is a game changer. I think it will be massive. The public version, which is worth mentioning, bandlab.com, is a public version and so should not be accessed by children. Most schools will have it filtered. Not that it's anything terrible, it's fantastic, but it's a social media platform, and of course that needs to be monitored very carefully. So BandLab recognized that and developed BandLab for Education, completely safe, walled garden, so children are safe. Final thing that perhaps I want to mention is that when you share your classroom, or when you give students a code, so I'm going to put add student here, the one you've seen, you can then send that to another class, and that class can work collaboratively with another class. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Let's just get back in. Here we go. So yes, so they can join another class and work together collaboratively. Now, this could be a classroom in the school. This could be another school where you say, let's make some scary Halloween music together. Okay, let's do that. And you can work across digitally, which means you can work across schools, you can work across counties, you can work across states, and you can work across the world, which is incredibly exciting. So I might make an assignment and send it to Melody and say, would your class be interested in working with my class in England on a project? And whatever they do, whatever they change in the mix editor will be saved, and it will go back to Melody, and she could add any one of these samples, or she could get her students to record their voices or an instrument if they had a microphone. And you can see the potential for global collaboration is just incredible. And wouldn't the world be a better place if that was to happen and we had young school children working with schools across the world in music, on music, writing their lyrics, recording their voices, recording their playing. It will be incredible, and I think it will happen. So just a few minutes to go. I'm going to stop sharing my screen again, and I'm going to see if there are any questions. That would be cool, Melody. Yes, it would. Let's start that. Thank you, Renee. Thanks for a great session. I'm glad you appreciated it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. There was a few questions. Cindy says, just wondering, how do I create classes for my students? I didn't see an option that I can create. Okay, let me just nip back in. Let me share my screen. Okay, so let's come out of here and I'll go to my schools. So to create a school, we go here, create a school, create new school. I can do that there. Again, that's on the video tutorials. To add a class, let's go to Truro Learning Academy. Oh, I'm in there, sorry. And Pentire class. Oops. Yes, Pentire class. There's 12 children in this class. But class activity, create an assignment there or a new announcement. That's fantastic. And to create a school, let's go to my Inclusive Music Academy. Sorry, Academy. It's getting late here. Create class. Okay, so, and I almost forgot to mention that we can import from Google Classroom. Again, another of the latest developments from BandLab. So if you have a Google Classroom, you click on that and all your children are automatically put in, or you can create a new classroom, give it a name, simple as that. You don't have to fill in these details. So for example, you could say, this is the Clever class. What's it about? Don't need to worry, save. And there's my Clever class. Add students, up comes the code. We are in business. Let me just go back and see if there are any more questions. Cindy says, no, Melody says, it's so important that kids understand that music is a universal language. Absolutely agree. And it is the most fundamental language. It was around before we spoke, going back generations and thousands of years. Music is the universal language. It's the most joyful and wonderful language. And as far as I'm concerned, the more children who take up music, the more children who are playing with music in any form, it doesn't have to be technology, in any form. But for me, technology is what children love. It's the air that they breathe. Mix it with music and technology. Happy days. It's just incredible. Cindy says, that's weird. I don't see the plus sign on my screen. Well, if you want to get back to me, Cindy, let me just type in my email at the bottom here. Phil@inclusivemusic.com. There we go. There's a link, and I'll be happy to answer not just your question, but anybody's questions about what they've seen tonight. Just looking down, see if there's any more. can you please send the URL for how to join videos you showed? Yes, I can. You'll find them on my website. And you'll also find them on my YouTube channel. Let's put that in right now. I have literally hundreds of videos that I've made. Let's just now put it in here. That's good. There we go. So yes, all these videos that you've seen tonight are on my YouTube channel, but of course the teachers pack and the teachers resources are in the learning.inclusivemusic.com. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The last thing I'd like to say is thank you so much for joining the presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that's inspired you to have a go, and I will very much support you in any way I can, because I'm absolutely passionate about technology and about music technology. It's changed my life. I've had a wonderful career. I'm still having a wonderful career in music education, and I like nothing more than writing songs and also going into schools and teaching. It's amazing. I encourage you to bite the bullet if you're a little bit fearful. Spread the word. Get people to join in. That code is available for any other teachers who'd like to, so pass it on. Pass on any of these details that you've seen. Please subscribe to my Inclusive Music YouTube channel. Get the free preview of all the resources, and keep in touch. I will announce the winner of this little beauty tomorrow, and that will be based on anybody who has signed up to my BandLab for Teachers classroom, and anything I add in there, new assignments, you'll get automatically. So it just remains for me to say, have a great day if it's still daylight. Have a great evening or a great morning wherever you are, and please enjoy BandLab, facilitate it, get it into your classroom, and allow children to make the music that they love and start them on their journey and their musical life. Thanks very much. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.